Hello friends, welcome back all to ᴍᴘᴱᴇᴱ here to talk about books. I'm so excited for today's video, particularly because we're going to be doing a book haul, which it's always exciting getting new books, but secondly because I got a new microphone and I have been wanting these microphones for the longest time, so I really hope you can hear the quality upgrade. But anyway, we're here to talk books, so grab yourself your most warming hot drink, a cozy blanket, and let's go. So, context, I recently got back from my trip from London. You'll see that vlog upcoming where I go book shopping in London, and I had a little bit of money left over from all of the savings that I did for my book holiday, and so I decided to go to my favourite secondhand website, World of Books, to buy some more books and obviously use the money that I had saved up. So I've got a stack behind me, quite a considerably stack, because when you shop secondhand you can get so many books because there's such a good deal going on. There was like buy three get one free, and a lot of these books are like £2.50, £3 in of themselves. Let's get to this book haul and let me share with you some of the books I've recently picked up. So let's start with the one book that I didn't actually get secondhand and actually got from Waterstones, and that is Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. The reason I got this one is because I joined the online event with Carissa Broadbent from Waterstones, and the ticket included the book price as well. So this was shipped to me alongside having watched the live stream, in which that was so much fun having an interview. I read Six Scorched Razors not too long ago and fell in love with it, and then most recently picked up Court 7 Winks of Night or something similar to that. And so yeah, I think this is the newest release and I'm very excited to get to it. I think it is told in like duologies, and I think this is the first book in another duology, and I think they are in some way interconnected, so I'm intrigued to kind of like learn and think about that. But yeah, this is the first book and the only book that I didn't get secondhand. Then next up I got a book that I actually have already read, and sometimes when I read a book via ebook or via audiobook and love it, I want to own it because I am a chronic rereader, especially in times of hardship or in times of struggle. Then I love rereading books because obviously when you know you've loved a book you just want to read it again, right? And so that is A Tempest of Tea. I remember listening to this via audio and falling in love with it. The characters, the cast, the setting, it was so joyous. It includes a heist, it includes a romance, and yeah, vampires in here as well, I think, and yeah, it was just so much fun. And I just remember it wasn't necessarily like the most adventurous or the most gripping ever, but I just remember loving the adventure and going along with the cast of characters. So yeah, that's why I picked this one up, because I want to reread it in the future, and yeah, excited to now own it on my shelves. And the next few books follow a similar theme, because if you don't know me or if you're new here, I love nothing more than books about books, because I love books so much that I love reading books about books. I just think there's just something magical about it, to listen to other people's feelings of books. It makes me feel giddy and excited to read myself, and I just love reading about books because I love books so much. And so I have, first of all, The Reading Cure, How Books Restored My Appetite. This one, I think the author is going through a struggle in life or has a recent diagnosis of perhaps anorexia, and this is how reading helped her feel better and helped her get through a tough time. And just, I can't resonate with the anorexia part, but resonating with reading being my solace and being the place that I escape to time and time again, that never fails me to get through troubled times, is so true, and I can just resonate with so much, and I'm sure a lot of other book lovers can as well. So I'm very excited to read this one, and I just love reading different people's kind of like origin stories or odes to books as well. I think it's just so impactful and powerful and so heartwarming. So yes, very excited to get to this one. And then sort of on a similar note, we have Bibliotherapy, and this is books to guide you through every chapter of life. And just flipping through this, it has so many different a kind of like header, so like when I get that feeling I need a textual healing, and it's kind of like goes through and talks different titles in which it recommends to you based on these different feelings in the book. And yeah, it just seems like a really kind of fun read where it's very interactive. Like here you've got kind of like these personal quizzes and things as well, which I thought was just so much fun. And yeah, I'm just really intrigued to see what this is about, and it's quite a big book as well, but I feel like with a book like this, it's something that you can return to again and again. So yeah, I'm very eager to see what this is about. I just realized you can see little Pecan over here on my rocking chair. She has recently had surgery, so that's why she's got a little zebra costume on, but she seems to be enjoying it over there, so I'm just gonna have her in the background. Anyway, the next up is The Novel Cure, an A to Z of literary remedies. And again, this literally goes through the alphabet and gives you different recommendations for different feelings and what they think you should read. And I don't know, I just love these books because obviously they're so subjective. You can read whatever you want to read, but I just love getting recommendations from books as well. I just think it's just a different form of recommendation, and like I say, just love reading books about books, so very eager to read this one. Then we have a book in which I have seen quite a few places and has intrigued me for quite some time. The People on Platform 5. Now, this author wrote something similar that I actually own on my shelves, and it is escaping me what they have done. The Authenticity Project. So I recently picked up the Authenticity Project secondhand as well, and I own it on my shelves, and I've been meaning to get to that one, and obviously meaning to get to this one too, that's why I own it as well, because this one is about, I think, people on a train, and you're obviously, if you've ever been on a train or you've been under the London Underground, no one really looks at each other, no one really talks to each other, people are very self-involved in their own lives, getting from A to B, and you kind of are aware of people around you, or if you're doing like a daily commute, which being an island person, I don't do that. I like either drive or walk or cycle everywhere, and I know a lot of people that I come across, so I don't kind of have these feelings, so it's something very foreign for me. But anyway, like, I've been obviously on the London Underground before. I've just come back from my London holiday, and yeah, you see some people that perhaps maybe on a regular commute that you see maybe every day, I'm not quite sure, but this book is basically breaking that wall down and you wondering what they're up to, what was going on in their life, because I found my brain wondering that when I was on the London Underground. And you will see different people and you think, I wonder where they're going now, I wonder what they're up to, I wonder how they're feeling, and all of these kind of questions that humans just kind of have. And yeah, I think this is just breaking that down and them actually becoming friends because they see each other every single day on the commute, and I think something puts them to needing to speak to each other. So yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one, and it just sounds like a really interesting concept. Then we have the first book, in which I picked up the second book in my London book haul, and I didn't really realise it was the second book, or maybe I did, and I knew that I could get the first book quite cheaply secondhand, and it sounded really interesting, and that is The Revenant Games. So this one is a vampire game thing. That's really all I know. And in the second book synopsis, I obviously don't want to spoil it, but it really intrigued me because I think there was like an element of romance and an element of family moving in that as well. And so I really want to obviously read the first book before I go on to the second book and see what it's about. So it's basically joining an intense battle of love survival in an epic new paranormal romantasy. And that is just such a winner line for me, where the blood means survival, love is forbidden. So I'm really intrigued. I don't often like game books. I don't know what it is about it, but I just can never really gel with them. But I'm hoping because this is kind of paranormal, it has vampires in here, and it's a bit of something different, I'll like it a bit more. So here's hoping, and yeah, excited to get to it, and obviously the second book in due course. Then lastly, we have this little stack here. Starting from the top, we have Diary of a Tuscan Bookshop. This obviously is following the Books About Books themed. I love nothing more than reading a book about a book, but also a book about a bookshop. So I read recently The Door-to-Door Bookstore, which I absolutely loved. And then I read another book recently, which I absolutely loved as well. Oh, there's obviously the Days of Marizaki Bookshop, which loved that one so much. And so yeah, I'm just hoping for a similar, more cozy, something about life, people loving books, or maybe people growing to love books in here. And yeah, it just seems really whimsical. I love the front cover so very much. It just seems so magical. And yes, I'm just hoping for a little bit of delight in Italy. So hopefully this one is a good one. And then we have similar going on, the Bookseller Bookshop, Books About Books theme, Diary of a Bookseller. So I think this is a fiction novel following a bookseller and the woes, trials and tribulations of being a bookseller and what that is about, and all about her life and all about books. So yeah, very, very interested by this one as well. I can't help it. If you do have any recommendations for books about books or books about being a bookseller or anything like that, excuse the change of angle on outfit, my battery just died suddenly, so I had to charge it and wait. Pecan is still asleep in the chair, as you can see. So we only have a few books left to talk about, so that's the stack here. So we were kind of in the middle of speaking about The Diary of a Bookseller. So basically I think this is just a fictional tale of a bookseller and their diary that they keep while being a bookseller, the trials and tribulations that come along with that. And yeah, I'm just really intrigued to kind of read that. And then it's like kind of a similar vein of books, we have Happily Ever After, and this is, I think, finding love in a bookshop. So this is a story of a girl who doesn't believe in happy endings or happy families. So I think she's trying to find love, and I think she's a book lover, and I think that they meet in a bookshop. I don't know for certain, obviously I haven't read it yet. But that's kind of just what I got from the kind of synopsis and premise. I don't like to read synopses in full, and I don't like to know too much about a book before I dive in. But from what I read about this book and the themes included, it sounded really interesting and fun. And obviously, it's about books, so I had to pick it up. Then we have The Cat and the City. I thought I owned this one, but I don't. And I adore cats as well as books. I feel like this whole book haul is just me showing what I love through literature. Anyway, so I love cats, love books, and I feel like this is just about a cat who he just makes his way through the back lanes of Tokyo, and yeah, what happens with them, the kind of stories that the cat has to tell, and the kind of different things that they come across. And I just love this kind of like slice of life thing. And like I say, in like a lot of the fiction I read, like cozy translated fiction and specifically, I love it when there is kind of like a base point and then everything like revolves around that point. So like a stick in the mud is what I often say. And then we've got all of these different characters and these different settings and different themes going around, but we've got this one centre focus. And for this, I think it is the cat. So very eager to read this one and yeah, just see a little cat's perspective, I suppose. I'm not quite sure if it's told from the perspective of the cat, but we shall soon find out. And it is a calico, which is exactly the same as pecan, so that's quite cute. We have a book I already read because I picked it up from the library, and that is Life Ceremony, and I loved it so much I just had to buy a physical copy because it was just so mind-boggling and just crazy. It was so crazy, and I definitely want to revisit this one because I feel like I just couldn't get all I wanted to out of it being a first read. And I've read a book, I've read Convenience Store, and I've read Earthlings by the same author. So yeah, love this book so very much, and I'm glad that I've now read all of these authors' works because, like I say, I just think they're a great author and just so crazy, so absolutely crazy. And yeah, I highly recommend this one if you're into like weird lit fic, just ambiguity, craziness, not know what to expect. Highly recommend this one because I really loved it and definitely want to revisit it sometime soon. We have Peach by Emma Glass. The reason I picked this one up is because I read Mrs. Jekyll by Emma Glass all whilst sat in a bookshop in Waterstones in London when I was there. I was waiting for so I had checked out my hotel and I was waiting for my flight, so I didn't really have much to do apart from just sit and read books and trial different books. But I ended up reading the whole of Mrs. Jekyll without even realising I was doing so until I got to the end, and I was like, wow. I'll just caveat that with I did buy books while I was there. I just didn't like sit there and obviously read and then walk out empty-handed. I did buy a few other books. Not Mrs. Jekyll though, because I wanted to spend my money I had saved up on books that I hadn't yet read, and I assess it afterwards whether I loved the book enough to reread it and then to pick it up physically. But anyway, this is about Peach, and because I loved the writing style so much from Mrs. Jekyll and the emotions woven in, the characters, how real they felt, how raw and vulnerable they were, I just wanted to read more of this author's work. So yeah, it's really tiny. I didn't realise how small it is. And so I'm just intrigued to know what this is about, to see if it's as poetic and as fantastic as what that book was. And I'm excited. I am very excited. Then we're down to the last three I have to talk to you about today. First of all, we have another book about books, in which is Mr. Penumdrum's 24-Hour Bookstore. I'm hoping this is similar vibes to the Door-to-Door bookstore because I love that book so much. And like I say, anything about bookshops, fiction, non-fiction, anything relating to books, fiction, non-fiction, I will love, hopefully. And I want to read because I'm just intrigued by it and I just love reading it. So yeah, I'm very intrigued. I mean, this one is quite a popular read in that kind of realm, but I haven't ever read it. And I'm just, yeah, like I say, I'm wanting to know more about it. It seems like this guy takes a new job working the night shift at Mr. Penumdrum's 24-Hour Bookstore, and doesn't realise what it kind of entails, and it's kind of the journey of that. So that just sounds really cozy, but yeah, fascinating, and seeing whose lives you intertwine with and mix with in different perspectives. So eager to read this. Then also another book about bookshops, found in a bookshop, sharing stories that will change lives. So I don't think I picked up Lost for Words by Stephanie Butland as well, but I was looking into it. But yeah, again, it's like a Lost for Words bookshop, and then it's kind of the stories that this bookshop has to tell, and I think the different people that come into it. Perhaps there's a romance in here as well. But yeah, I think it's just the story of being a bookseller, the story of running a bookshop, what that means, what that looks like, and the coziness that comes with that, and the trials and tribulations too. So again, very excited. Very excited. I love book hauls because I love sharing my joy, but I feel like I just am rubbish at just talking about what these books are about because I haven't read them yet. So I can't get like overly excited because I can't explain to you why I love them so much and how interesting they are to me, because I don't have any kind of foundations to explain. But I hope that this is still fun, because I'm genuinely really excited about all of these books. That's why I decided to read them. No, that's why I decided to buy them and then read them. I hope my excitement is translating, because I feel like I'm just a bit lackluster because I don't really have my usual format of like giving you the themes, giving you my feelings, because I don't yet have that attached to these books, and I don't like to know much about my books before going in. But anyway, ramble aside, because we're on the last book, and that is Strange Weather in Tokyo. Yeah, this is another translation fiction, and I think it's very ambiguous. I think it's very strange. I think it's very weird. I think it's in that kind of like subgenre, which I love and I eat up, and I'm very excited to get to. So yeah, this is the last book in this book haul, and it's a little short, and I feel like those books are the ones in which are the craziest. So very excited to see what happens in this one. So these are all of the books I have to share with you today. There are quite a lot there. Obviously have very interlinking themes. I feel like you can definitely tell I'm a mood reader by my book buying habits as well as my reading, because I realise I don't have books on my shelves to fit the particular mood I'm in. Then I'll probably read all of these books and then like get into a different mood and then read like a certain amount of books. So yeah, that's the one thing about being a mood reader, is it doesn't just influence your reading, it influences your book buying. But it's quite good because it means hopefully eventually I'll have books for every single reading mood I could possibly ever want. So that's an exciting concept to think about. So yeah, I'm, like I say, very, very eager to read every single one of these. I'd love to know if you've read any of these. I'd rather not know if you hated any of these, because I am excited about them. But I love to discuss after I've read them, because perhaps I won't like them and then we can discuss our woes about them together. But yeah, if you have any recommendation of books about bookshops, please let me know, because that is very much the reading mood I am currently in and love. I'm always in that mood because I feel like I can never get enough of it, because I just love books so much. So as you can see, so I will always read books about books and books about bookshops. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to know if any of these books are on your TBR as well. And thank you ever so much for watching. And I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a wonderful day or night. Until next time, friends. Bye. So they're in like a little bit of a mess pile at the moment. So I'm going to now categorize them into like where they're going on in my library, and then I'll scan them in. These are going on my hardcover shelf, these are going on my non-fiction, this one is going on my miniature hardcover shelf, this one is going on my fantasy shelves, and these are going on my litfic / romance / other genre shelves. So let me scan these all in now. Just realised I need to scan them onto my TBR, so I'll just need to scan them twice, but that's fine. I'll scan them and then scan them again and then shelf them. has a barcode already on it, so I'll need to put that in manually. This was going to be a squeeze, but we have space. We have more than enough space. It's perfect. Perfect fit. Yay! So those are all of the books on all of the shelves. Thank you ever so much for joining me on this adventure, friends. I hope you had fun, and I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a wonderful day or night. Until next time, bye!